Hey there, welcome to Cooking with Mo and Deb. Tonight we're going to be making some salsa. Deb is on her way over. She's been working today. I've been working today, but now it's time to do some salsa. So we've got some homegrown tomatoes from Sand Mountain, Georgia. So if you don't know anything about Sand Mountain, it's a mountain here in Georgia/Alabama that has sandy soil. That's the name Sand Mountain. But these tomatoes are some of the best you will ever taste. They grow great fruits and vegetables up there. Potatoes, strawberries, watermelons, all of that does really well with the great sandy soil they have. So we're going to be making some homemade salsa and canning it and putting it up in jars using a hot water bath method. So if you've never done that before, we hope that you will join us so that you will learn that it's not really that hard to be Susie homemaker and can your own salsa, and it tastes so much better than what we're used to buying in the stores. Now let me show you the ingredients here real quick. We've got some jalapeno peppers, onion, bell peppers, fresh cilantro, fresh garlic, a little bit of sugar, some ground cumin, salt and pepper, tomato sauce, tomato paste, and of course some great apple cider vinegar. So y'all join us and let's make some salsa. Okay, so the first thing we need to do when we're making homemade salsa is to peel the potatoes. But I don't like to fool around with peeling them, so I found a great way to get the skins off of the potatoes, and that is by putting them in a cookie sheet. I lined this cookie sheet with aluminum foil. You can see there. I cut my tomatoes in half and laid them face down with the skins up. And then I put them under the broiler for about 5 minutes in my oven. And the skins, when you do them this way, let me get me my scraps in here, will just peel right off like that. You see that? Easy pleasy, and everything you have left is usable. That skin just peels right off. Sometimes you got a little stuck edge right there, but it'll just peel right off. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. You want to let them cool a little bit first because they're still a little bit hot. But that is just the greatest way to peel fresh tomatoes. All right, I'm going to get these peeled and then we'll start back after that. Now we got tomato juice all over it. Okay guys, I finished peeling my tomatoes and I've been cutting them up. Now, I like a thick and chunky salsa, but if you like more runny, thin salsa, then you can use a food processor or some kind of chopper to cut your tomatoes. But what I've been doing is cutting them by hand with a knife. And I'm gonna finish that up here real quick, and then I'm gonna show you. These tomatoes have a lot of the little white, I don't know what that's called, veins or whatever, that are hard. And I've been picking those out. That's one thing that you can do when you're working by hand, whereas if you used a food processor, you wouldn't be able to do that as easily. So I'm just kind of chopping them up, not real fine, and then I'm placing them in my bowl. Okay, that's about it. Now we're going to drain these tomatoes as well. Here's my little scrap bowl, big scrap bowl actually. So I'm going to go ahead and start draining them because we don't want all that juice in there. There's going to be plenty of juice, but you don't want a lot of extra juice, especially if you're wanting to do a thick and chunky salsa like we like. So we'll be right back and we'll get started on the next step. Hey, welcome back. We're canning salsa, and you see Deb has joined me now.
Hey.
And we've got our tomatoes, 10 cups of tomatoes in the big Peppered Chef stock pot. And to those tomatoes, we're going to add a lot of ingredients. So
We've already chopped a bunch,
Yep.
done some of the prep work so that it'll go by a little bit quicker. So that's a good thing to remember. Prep work beforehand,
Yes.
chopping, getting everything out,
Indeed.
it really speeds up your process.
So let me get a spoon and then I'll stir as we add this stuff in. All right, so first we're gonna add onion.
3 cups of
3
onions
cups
already
of
chopped.
onion. That's a lot of onion, y'all.
And we cried a little over it.
Yes, we were weeping for sure. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to add is the jalapenos. We've chopped up. The recipe calls for 5. I wanted it a little bit spicier, so we chopped up 7 jalapenos.
Now, we did take out the seeds out of these jalapenos. If you wanted it hotter, if you like some really hot salsa, you can leave your seeds in the jalapenos, but that will give you some more spice. But we did take all of these out.
And just a word of warning, when you're chopping jalapenos, when you're cutting them in half and cleaning out all those seeds and everything, it's a good idea to wear gloves.
And not saying that we know about this, but do wear gloves.
But, yeah, Debbie and I have both had experiences
We
where
just shared stories.
burned our hands on jalapenos because we didn't wear gloves. We didn't wear gloves this time, but we only chopped up 7. Or we only cut 7, and then we used our chopper to chop them, so we're good.
I think we're fine.
And then we washed our hands really good with soap. So we've added the jalapenos. Now let's add 1 3/4 cup of bell pepper.
Bell peppers.
Yummy. Y'all, this is looking pretty. This is a pretty salsa too.
Cumin.
Okay.
Oh
here's
no, garlic cloves first.
Yeah. So Deb's gonna mash some garlic. Here's her teaspoon.
And it calls for 7 cloves of garlic. I like to use, we like to use fresh garlic. So this is a clove. When you buy it, it comes in a bulb, and you break apart the bulb. And we're going to put in 7 cloves of garlic. We're squeezing them like that, and then you just scrape off the garlic off the bottom. So that's that way you're using your fresh garlic. And we're going to. What happens here in this press is it leaves the peeling, so you don't have to peel them.
Right.
So.
And you know the old trick of just using like a knife or something like that and laying the knife on it and bamming them like that, and then they'll usually peel pretty easy.
Right.
So if you're one of those unfortunate souls who does not have the Pampered Chef garlic press, then you know that is another way to do it.
Just peel it and, oh, that one's pretty
Tough.
tough.
Oh,
But I
wow.
got it. I did
That's
it.
a lot of garlic.
That's
just
another way to
squirted out of there.
build up some muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you break apart your clove, it still has the peeling on it. So like Mo said, you just get the peeling off, and then you can chop it up yourself instead of mincing it like we are. That still works. I have actually lost count. Did you lay 7 out here?
Yes, I did.
Good thing.
I knew we would lose count, so I laid 7.
I can't talk and count at the same time.
I'm going to go ahead and show y'all how to. Deb, can you
Yes.
push that camera down? I'm going to show you how to do it the old-fashioned way. And I've just got a metal spatula right here. I'm going to lay it down like that, and then I'm going to put that on top of it, and I'm just going to, with the palm of my hand, I'm just going to hit it good. And it kind of breaks apart, and off comes that shell.
There, perfect. And then
But
you can,
it's so much easier to do it in there.
you just squeeze the press, and we get garlic in like that.
And y'all, salsa without
Your camera
garlic,
like
salsa without garlic, you might as well have, just don't even bother, because it's just not going to be as good. The garlic makes the salsa, I believe.
I really feel like it makes a lot of recipes. A lot of people don't like it, and that's okay. But
yeah, that's fine.
I think when it really it actually smells up your kitchen. I think it smells pretty
Yeah,
good.
it does smell good. It smells like Italiano.
Yep. One more. Finally
Okay.
getting to the end.
Alrighty. Now this is looking good. Okay.
And smelling good. I mean,
Yes.
they've barely started cooking, but I can already smell all those
me
fresh
too.
veggies.
Me too.
All right, garlic's in. So the next thing is 2.5 teaspoons of ground cumin.
Okay.
I use this a lot with chili. That's really, I guess, the only other time that I use this. I use cumin.
A lot of
Maybe
times-
Mexican recipes.
Right, if you're doing Mexican recipes, it'll call for cumin. You
Is
may
this a
have to.
teaspoon?
That is 1 teaspoon. Yes.
2.5. So,
Okay. All right.
is it okay to guess at the half, or do you
I
have?
think so.
Okay, I'm guessing
You
at
know
the
me,
half
Dan.
a teaspoon here.
Who said it? Yeah.
Is that okay?
And it's not gonna hurt if we got a little extra. We'll just make it better, more better. Okay, Deb is going to chop up some fresh cilantro. That's another thing that you can buy it dried, or you can buy it, as in the spice section. But fresh is best. Fresh tastes so much better.
The way I do it, you get your cilantro in a big package like this.
Comes in the produce
In the
department.
produce department, that's your fresh. And we've already cut off the stems. And I'm gonna turn this down.
Okay.
So what I do, if you do something different, you tell me. I just kind of roughly cut it, rock it back and forth, and then I just do this until I get it cut down
Right.
to however small I want it. And you can just keep on going.
Right.
Rocking
We need
your
a
knife.
third of a cup, so.
Do we have a third cup measurement?
Yeah,
I think I may have put it in the sink if we
Okay.
had one already.
A third.
I don't know if we did.
Third. No, that was 3/4. Let me grab the
So
third.
fresh, also
There's a third.
fresh herbs. You can. Oh golly, I can smell this
I
cumin
know,
right
I
here.
can too.
I mean, not cumin.
Cilantro.
Cilantro. Sorry.
Yeah.
And cilantro, it just goes so well with Mexican dishes
Yes, it
and salsa. You
does.
really. Some people really don't like it, but and I guess
Well, I
it's
think
okay
you
to
can
leave
use,
it out
you
if
can
you
use
want
too
it.
much of it.
That's true.
Because it's a very strong herb. So if you use too much of it, it's gonna overpower
That's
your
true.
salsa.
Yes.
So let's make sure we don't add more than what the recipe calls for on that one. 1/3.
You ready?
Yep. There it goes.
All right.
And it also adds it adds pretty to it.
It does. It
Yeah,
really
makes it
So that's
herby.
why it's such a great garnish for
I know,
dishes.
It is.
Okay, the next
Okay.
ingredient
How
is
about those that 2 cans of tomato sauce,
2
8
8-ounce
ounce cans,
cans.
so 16 ounces altogether. And then we're gonna add, is that a 12 ounce or what?
This is a 12-ounce can of tomato paste. Is it 12 ounces?
Yes.
Yes, it is. The whole
Okay.
12 ounces.
So we're gonna add that whole 12 ounce can of tomato paste to our salsa.
Now you skipped one ingredient. Did you mean to?
Probably not.
It is sugar.
Okay, we'll grab the sugar.
1/3
over
cup of sugar. So
Okay,
is this going to make it really sweet, you think?
a 1/3 cup.
Yeah.
I think so.
What I've
I
read.
like mine sweet.
What I have read is sugar and tomatoes kind
Just
of
made a mess.
it tones down the acid in your
Here goes the
dishes.
sugar. Yes, it does.
So it's gonna it kind of takes away a little bit of that tomatoey taste, but it doesn't make it really sweet.
Right. Okay, now our vinegar. 1 1/4 cups of apple cider vinegar.
This is what really makes
Oh yeah.
your salsa.
1 1/4 cup. Here's the 1 cup.
So if you've never made homemade salsa, put it on your list of things to try because it
Yes.
really is.
It's
Good.
fun and it's not hard at all. And then it kind of just gives you a feeling of accomplishment. There's 1 cup. What was it? 1/3?
1/4.
1/4 cup.
Here's the 1/3.
Okay. Here's the 1/4.
I think we've used all the different sizes.
I know we have. We've messed up my whole kitchen just making this salsa. So there goes the 4th cup. All right. I'm gonna stir this up.
So you're gonna, wow, it just takes 10 minutes. After you have everything mixed together, you're just gonna let it, bring it to
Simmer.
a simmer. I mean, bring it up to heat and it simmers for 10 minutes. And then we're gonna put it in jars. That's awesome. I didn't know it was so
I
quick.
know it's really easy, y'all, and
It's so
everybody
pretty.
loves this salsa. I will be tasting it here in a few minutes after it's had time for all the flavors to blend. I may add a little more sugar if I think it needs it, because I do like my salsa a little bit on the sweet side.
We got some good chips to eat it with.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up and
Need to get
we'll have
some
to look in the
chips.
pantry and see. I hope we do. I hope we do.
Yeah, it's so pretty that
Here, let's see
cilantro
if we
just-
can
There you
tilt
go.
that pot.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Look at that
That
pretty
looks nice.
salsa. That would make any Mexican mama proud.
Yes. And a Mexican meal.
And I
is
do
awesome.
love me some salsa at the Mexican restaurant. So, and I do love our homemade salsa
Yeah.
too. So,
We'll be back.
we'll be back. We're gonna let this simmer for a few minutes, and meanwhile we're cooking supper. So we will probably be doing a little more, but we're gonna show you that hot water bath in just a minute, where we can our tomatoes salsa.
Be right back.
We don't know. Okay, we're back. Debbie is busy filling up our canning jars with our salsa. So I'm gonna point this down where you can see what she's doing there.
There you go. We have manufactured a funnel.
Yes, I don't have a canning
jars.
funnel apparently, so we made one with a solo cup, because you know you can do all kinds of things
That's
with a solo cup. It's not a little red solo cup, but it's a purple solo cup.
So these are going into pint jars. That's a
Perfect.
good amount for a jar of salsa. It's hot down there.
Okay. I wanted to show you, put it about 1/2 inch from the top when you fill your jars. And we've got 5 filled so far. We're trying to see how many we can get. I think we're gonna get about 8 or 9 maybe from this recipe. So we did test it and it is good.
It really is good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
We think next time we may cut back just a little bit on the vinegar. It is a little vinegary right now, but like I told Debbie, let's take some
I
of
need to
that
take
out.
some. Overfilled just a little.
Yeah, as it sits, the flavors all blend together and it's not quite so vinegary tasting. So it's funny how after you do the hot water bath, and then you let it sit for weeks or whatever, and then you open the jar, it doesn't taste as vinegary as it does right
Oh.
after you.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember thinking last year, it's a little bit vinegary, but then when I opened some later in the season, I was like, hey, this is a pretty good salsa. So,
We may have 10 jars on this
wow.
recipe.
Do I have,
Still going.
I hope I did
There's-
10
there's-
jars. I think I did. I think I did
We
10.
might have some more.
Awesome.
So, what happens after all the jars are filled?
Okay, so I'm going to show y'all. This is a hot water bath canner. It's just an old metal pot with a lid, and inside you can probably see it's got a jar rack. I'm not going to pull that off the table. So, ooh, I'm going to pull that too far. There we go. But it's got a rack here, and then you just put your sealed jars down into the hot water. This is like almost boiling right now. We're gonna let it get good and boiling.
What did you do to the jars? Did you do anything to the jars to get
Yes,
them ready?
so we wash the jars good with hot soapy water, or you can throw them in the dishwasher, either one, on hot, you know, get it good and hot. And then you put them in your cooker here, your hot water bath cooker, and sterilize them by boiling them in the hot water. And so meanwhile, back at the ranch, we've got a little saucepan, and in the saucepan I have put the jar lids. These are the little jar lids. See, they have a little rubber ring on them. And what you do is you boil them as well and get them good and hot. And that's how they seal when you put them on your jars. But before we do that, I'm going to take a clean rag and I'm going to wipe around the lid or the top of each jar.
And the reason for that is if there's anything at the top of the jar, it could keep the jar from sealing.
Right.
And that would ruin your jar
Yeah.
of salsa.
Yeah, if
So-
it doesn't have a good seal on it, it will spoil.
turn the camera over to you.
And so we hope, you know, that all of these will seal really well, and then we'll have salsa. We'll have good fresh garden salsa this winter for our
And
Christmas parties or
we
what
still
else.
have some in here, so we've got how many here?
Oh my goodness.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 jars. I've probably got 2 more jars in here. I'm
Awesome.
gonna have to get some more jars to
Okay. we
finish
can do
filling,
that.
but-
We can do that.
But in the meantime, this canner, how many does it hold of pines? Do you
I think it
remember?
holds 10.
So these 10 will probably fit in this
Yeah.
canner, so we'll get these
Yeah,
ready.
because I just got them out of there, you know, when I
Oh,
sterilized
yeah,
them.
right.
So there's one more step. Debbie, do you know what that is? Think back to when you were watching your mama. Your mama now. Your mama and your grandmama.
I don't know, Ma, what is it?
Okay. So,
Don't ask me trick questions.
I know, don't ask me that. So we have to get the air out of the salsa. So we do that by taking just a butter knife is what I normally do. And I just run it down in there along the side, and I just make sure that there's no air bubbles in there, like that. Because apparently air bubbles are bad.
I would guess it would make your food go bad.
I would think so too. So, and I do remember when Granny and Mama would can, you know, I remember them running a knife down through whatever they were, even if it was jelly or whatever, doing that.
These look so pretty too. Look, doesn't that look good? And yeah, we tasted it a little while ago, and it is fabulous.
Really good. Good recipe. And
It's,
I'm
the
gonna-
colors are very pretty.
I'm going to put the recipe down in the link so you can go to this website. I did tweak mine a little bit. I added a little more sugar and a couple of things like that. But the recipe as it is very good. And I'm sorry I can't remember the lady's name that put this recipe out. But I will give her credit in the comments. So, okay, Debbie.
I think we're going to make some more too, just so we can try doing it with a little less
Yeah.
vinegar. Another
Right.
day we're going to make some. So
Yeah.
here goes the lids. Mo's putting on the lids.
Okay. Mo is going to put on the lids and
And
they're
they're
set
hot.
together. Yes, they're hot. I need to get a towel, clean towel. Here we go. Here's one. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take the lid and I'm just going to put it
These
on
are the
there.
rings that's going to go on.
Maybe you want to do the rings?
Yes.
Do the honors of the rings.
So put your ring on. Now, do you make it really, really tight?
I've tightened it pretty good.
That's what I've always been told too. You tighten it pretty good. So what's going to happen, you're going to put all these into the hot water bath for how many minutes?
10.
Remember?
Mhm.
10 minutes.
10 or 15. I
When we
can't
take
remember.
them out, you're going to let them set, and you see how it pops right here? This is going to seal, and when it's not popping, you know it's sealed.
Yeah, and it's really cool because when they're sitting on your countertop cooling, you will hear the jars
pop,
start popping.
And it's such a great satisfaction
Yeah.
because you know all this work
exactly
was great. You know, it worked. Everything is going to be
Yeah.
so good, and you're going to have salsa in the pantry for the winter or for however long, you know.
Well,
Might
I
eat it all up
usually
before winter, I don't know.
give mine away. I
Okay.
have people that really like my salsa, and I'm like, okay, I have some salsa, and I'll take it to work and I'll give it to folks. But that's one thing I love to do with all of my cooking, whether it's baking cookies or whatever. I just like to share.
And these would make great Christmas gifts if you're trying to think of
Yep,
something for
they would.
someone that maybe it's kind of hard
Surely
to
would.
give them a gift. Then this would be a fun thing to do, to give them some chips and a jar of salsa. Would make an excellent gift.
I'm gonna have to boil 2 more
And we need
because
some more rings too.
okay.
So we're gonna finish getting these rings and lids on, and I'm gonna go get a couple more jars because we have enough salsa. And sometimes if you don't have enough to fill the jar, that's what you get
That's
to
what
eat.
you get to eat. That's right.
You put that in a bowl, get it cold, and break out the chips.
Yeah. Be right back. Okay, y'all, it's bath time.
Bath time.
All right, we're gonna put these jars of salsa into the hot water bath. And you see this nifty jar lifter. This is one, if you're gonna be canning, you need one of these. And you can get them at any hardware store or probably Walmart in the canning section, or your grocery store if they have a good canning section as well. So I'm just lining these up in here in my hot water bath while Debbie is finishing filling a couple of jars. And you want the water to be over your jar lids. And remember, we've tightened these really tight. And that's another reason to tighten them tight, because you don't want any water seeping into the jars and ruining your yummy salsa.
Too much hard work goes into this to have them ready.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So let's see, we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in
Another
there.
one to go in?
Look at that. Yep.
Alright. So we can put one more into the hot water bath.
Okay. Clean that lid off maybe. Yeah, we can actually put 2 more in here. Yep.
Okay. We're gonna have
Is that
one
hot?
leftovers. No, it's not bad. I bet you wanna grab it with your...
Yes. With my handy dandy jar lifter.
So I've heard that there is
I
a
bet we can fit
shortage.
2 more.
2 more?
Yep.
Good, because that's how many we have.
Yay!
I have heard that there's a shortage of canning supplies.
Why?
I think it's just because with COVID going on and everybody home cooking so much more, that maybe everybody is
Yeah.
even thinking about canning.
We're canning for the apocalypse.
Yes, I think that might be it.
Oh.
So just keep looking; they're out there. I've read that. Can you turn that one off?
Yep.
You can order online. Just go to probably Amazon and look them up,
Yeah.
or Walmart.
Well, and the thing is, all the gardens start coming in at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, a few weeks ago we were doing pickles, and so there were plenty of jars around then.
Yeah.
But now you've had folks putting up soup mix, you've had folks putting up salsa, tomatoes, spaghetti sauce, you name
And
it.
when the garden comes in, you have to do this
You
when
have to do
when the
it.
vegetables are ready. You can't wait
Stop
on
while
your
the iron
turn.
is hot. Oh, I
Your
don't know if
time.
it'll fit that last one, Deb.
Okay, you better stop right
You
there.
might have to take that one home and eat
Hey,
it.
I'm okay with that. One left over to eat now.
Yep. Just remember, it's not been hot water banned.
Okay.
So.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and eat that. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
you
save
can
it.
eat that one. So I'm
Put it
gonna
in the
put the
fridge.
lid on this, and then we're gonna let it boil for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then when it's done, we'll take them out, let them cool, and they will be good to go. And usually canned goods like these, especially tomato canned goods, they're good for about 18 months, I think.
That's a long time.
Yeah. It's pretty good, so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor.
That's right.
Right, Deb?
That's right.
So we're glad y'all joined us tonight. I hope you weren't too overwhelmed with
It's
all-
really not. It's really not hard. It
It's
may
not.
have seemed like it tonight because we had a lot all in front of you, but
Yes.
it's really easy. Maybe we should do a basics of canning and show you
Yeah.
all the basic things that you need.
That would be
We'll
great.
do that on a
And
video.
you know what? We need to have a guest, a special guest.
That's
You know
a
who
great
that
idea.
special guest needs to be?
I know who the perfect person is.
So Debbie's mom is a canner from way back, and so she has actually agreed to come and show us how to can, because you know neither Deb nor I have ever canned outside of the hot water bath, which is really not. I mean, it's canning, but it's not canning. You know, you're not using a pressure cooker and all of that.
There
so.
are some things that you've got to cook longer
Yeah.
than what we're doing here with
Yeah.
the hot water bath. And
Yeah.
You have to do that in a pressure cooker. And my
I've
mom's
always
done that
been
for
intimidated
years.
by those,
Me
you
too.
know.
I've
Yeah.
done it with my mom,
Uh-huh.
but she's there and she's the expert and she
Yeah.
knows how to run that pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a special guest,
Yeah.
and she's going to show us how to use a pressure cooker.
It'll be great.
And it'll be fun and
Yeah.
be a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah, and Betty's great. She's gonna show us how it's done, and you know, I was gonna say we're the next generation, but actually our kids are the ones that need to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we should have learned it a long time ago, but hey, it's never too late, right?
It's never too late.
So we're gonna learn right along with everybody else. So,
Yeah.
but good to see y'all again, and we're back from vacation. We'll be doing some more videos.
Yep.
Deb's gonna do a couple tomorrow at her place, and I know they'll be good.
Oh, we'll
She's
see.
gonna feature some awesome Pampered Chef
Yeah.
products. So
So
y'all-
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye. Uh-oh, I lost the remote. Y'all, if I ever learn how to do this, it'd be great. See y'all.
Bye.